Have you ever wondered if these fitness trends going around are overrated or underrated? Well, let this fitness instructor here tell you in today's video. Let's get to it. So, overrated or underrated? What's our first one?
Group fitness.
So, group fitness. I think it's underrated for many and overrated for some. For me, it was very underrated. It's been this thing where I've tried a whole bunch of new things and I haven't had to think about any of them because being a fitness instructor, personal trainer, correctional exercise specialist, all these things, I can put together workouts, and I do, and I can put together like all of these different things. But when I can come into a class and I don't have to like put it all together and I can just take the class, I was like, oh, you know what? This is kind of fun. And then on top of that, there's a community that, especially if it's a really hard class, like kickboxing is so fun, but it is so hard. And so classes like that, if it's really, really hard, I have learned that being able to like talk about it afterwards and things like that is like so underrated. Like just that, like it's just like this different camaraderie. Or even like I take a choreographed strength training class, and like if I was doing that on my own, I could have like celebrated my gains because like last week I lifted the strongest in my class or the heaviest in my class and I was shocked, and I could have been doing all that on my own, but because I was in the class, I was able to like actually share that and be like, I was so shocked, and like have people celebrate with me instead of just on my own. And it was like a quick little thing, and it was just like built right in there because I'm not always so good at celebrating. So for me, group fitness is underrated, but for some people it's completely the opposite, and it actually does the opposite. So it just depends on the person. So for the next one,
Strength training.
I think it depends. For me, I would say underrated, underrated, I think, because strength training is so important. Strength and cardio go hand in hand. They're both very important. No matter what your goal is, they're both very important to have in your routine because cardio is going to help your heart health and many other benefits as well. It's going to help your heart regulate better. It's going to help, like, there's just so many benefits to cardio. And then strength training, it's going to help you metabolize better. It's going to help you if you do fall down, less likely to get injured, help your balance. Like, there's just like so many benefits of both that it really takes both. I think they are very good. And when I say it depends on whether or not it's underrated or overrated, like you see these people who have done all the strength training, but then like can hardly make it up a flight of stairs without being out of breath. That's when I say it's overrated. So it just kind of depends. And then if somebody's not doing strength training at all, I would say it's very underrated for them. So it just really depends on who you are. And so for the next one,
Cardio.
So this is kind of the same answer. It depends on who you are. So for the person that I was talking about, strength training, not being able to walk up a flight of stairs without being out of breath, I would say cardio is very underrated for them. And it's if somebody's focused on fat loss and they think that cardio is the only way to do that, I would say cardio is very overrated for them. Like I said, you need both, but both are beneficial. Technical difficulties, whoops. For me, I would say, I don't know, this is a hard one. Underrated? I'm only saying that because I teach aqua dance. So I teach aqua dance, aquafit. So I focus a lot on cardio when I teach. So of course I'm going to be a little bit biased and be like, of course this is amazing. I don't know. HIIT. I think that is very underrated. High intensity interval training, in case you don't know. HIIT helps your heart work more effectively. And obviously, if you hate HIIT, don't do it. But I think if you can add some sort of HIIT in there, like Tabata is really good. There's some classes that are HIIT classes or Tabata classes. Tabata is a form of HIIT. So not all Tabata, no, all Tabata is HIIT, but not all HIIT is Tabata. So it just depends. So there's like boot camps and different things, or if you even want to be on the treadmill. Sometimes, for me, being on that treadmill is so freaking boring. So, actually, I don't even do the treadmill. I'll do the elliptical when I go. And I get bored within like 5 minutes or less. And so the hit on the treadmill or the bicycles or whatever works pretty well for me because it keeps me from getting too bored. Sort of keeps me from it anyway.
Keto diet.
The keto diet, way overrated. Any diet is overrated because the thing with diets is it's not typically a lifestyle change. It's something that's temporary to either help you lose weight or help you bulk. And neither one of those things are sustainable. And so it's really going to give you very, very short-term gains. And then you risk not just going back to where you started, but being in an even worse place. A lot of times you see these people go on these diets, they lose a bunch of weight. When they're on the diet, they get off the diet, they binge a bunch of food, and then they gain all that weight back and then some. And it's just anything that's not a lifestyle change, anything that's not long-term sustainable. I know, boring. A boo. Put in a boo track here. Boo. Anything that's not sustainable long-term is overrated. Way overrated. So the next one.
10K steps.
10,000 steps. Way overrated. So here's the thing. One, if you're getting 9,527 steps versus 10,000 steps, it's not that much of a difference. So it's really an arbitrary number that somebody made up and was like, hey, 10,000 steps is what we need. And two, if you are just being active, you don't even need to worry about your steps. Like, if you just have an active lifestyle, like for me, for instance, I like doing all these different active things. I like hiking. I like, wow, all my words tried to go together at the same time. I like hiking. I like kayaking. I like swimming. I like taking aqua classes. I like doing kickboxing. I like strength training. I like all of these different things. So I'm doing all these different things. And if you're not doing all those different things and you want to make sure you're more active, focus on being more active. If you love counting your steps, do that. Great for you. But there's so many people that are counting their steps because they think they have to. And it's like, we're not robots. So this 10,000 steps is some arbitrary number that somebody made up that it really doesn't matter. What matters is if you're being more active than you were before. And yes, walking is helpful. If you want more steps, park further away, walk through the store an extra time or something like you could, there's the different ways to like kind of like hack getting more steps or whatever. If you think you need to be more active, if you have a sedentary lifestyle and just want to get some movement in there. But like, it's just way overrated. So next,
Biohacking.
So basically biohacking, if you don't know what biohacking is, it's basically trying to optimize your workout and your food intake and all these different things. To like optimize your lifestyle. The thing with these optimized workouts is, who are they optimized for? Is it optimized for you? Probably not. Because here's what happens. You get so focused on the hacking that you don't even actually pursue it further. It's just like this like exciting thing to find all these hacks. And then once you do, you stop doing it. Or that particular plan didn't actually work for you anyways, because these hacks don't take into account the fact that you have kids, or the fact that you work 70 hours a week, or the fact that you have all of these commitments that you've made over the week, or they don't take into account your lifestyle. They don't take into account being an average person, because the average person just really does not need to hack anything. You just need to be more active. Like, that's really what it boils down to. Keep it simple, and that is where you're going to thrive. That is where you're going to find long-term results. Eating more fruits and vegetables is going to help your diet. More protein, more fruits, more vegetables. Those are 3 things that are going to easily help your diet, and that's going to be long-term sustainable changes. And doing active things that you like doing is going to be long-term sustainable. These biohacks are not, and they're really not even optimal for you because like I said, they don't take into account anything about you. So they just treat us all like robots, and don't we have enough of that with all of these other forces trying to treat us like robots? Do we really want to add biohacking to that? I personally don't. Um, so the next one,
Holistic health.
holistic health. Yes, I think it is very underrated. It's like my job. Well, sort of. So one of the frustrations with the medical field for so many years was the fact that I very much think medicine is important. I think it is a good thing, but I was so frustrated because I wasn't taken seriously whenever I went to the doctor. Whenever I went to the doctor, all they wanted to do was prescribe some medicine that I didn't want to take, and like there was never really any solutions that fixed or tried to go towards fixing a problem. It was always putting a band-aid on it, and it was just not, and it was like one little thing would be like looked at, but it was like we're missing the big picture here. And so it got to the point where I just didn't even want to go to the doctor. And so I've been healing that journey, but it's something I'm super passionate about. And so the job that I have now, I'm a fitness instructor at two different places, but one is which is connected to a hospital. And at that place, we actually have all the classes, we have rehab, we have orthopedics, and then across the way, which we're connected with, is the hospital. And so the physicians at the hospital and us are working together to get patients overall care for mind, emotions, and body, not just like focusing on one thing. And so like it's something I'm so passionate about, and I think it is very underrated, and it is so important. Rant over. Okay, and the last one. Is this the last one?
Yes, it is.
Okay, what's the last one?
Weighted hula hoop.
Weighted hula hoops. So let me go grab mine. Honestly, I think it's overrated. It's not that bad, but I think it is overrated. Ow. It's one of the lesser evil things. But, oh, my head's not even on here. So, if you don't know what a weighted hula hoop is, I don't know if I can do this without knocking anything over, though. I'm pretty confident I can't. Okay, there we go. So, you want it to be on your hips. It has this weighted thing, and there went my mirror. Whoops! Okay. I'm gonna knock some stuff over. There goes my backdrop. Okay, so if I don't move. Anyways, so I think it's overrated. Honestly, I get bored in like 5 minutes, and I'm like, okay, what do I do now? And I don't know where to put my arms. It's not the worst thing in the world. If you love doing it, I think then I think it's underrated. But for the most part, I think it's overrated. It's not something you need unless you really want it. Oops. And here's the problem. When I got mine, I weighed a lot more than this, and I could only get it here. I couldn't actually get it on my hips. And the thing is, when you have it here, it pushes into your sternum, which is painful and risky, because you can actually puncture your lung. So when people do CPR, they have to do it up a little ways, because you need to do it on the sternum, but you need to do it up a little ways because the bottom of the sternum is kind of pointy. Can you, Jenny, can you put a picture of a sternum in here? So, the bottom of the sternum is a little pointy. And when you do CPR, if you do it too far down, what happens is that part actually punctures the lungs, which, if that happens, we would rather the person be alive and have to heal from that than be dead. Because when you need to do CPR, it's because they're no longer living. However, the weighted hula hoop pushing into that, probably not a good plan. It's probably not enough pressure to actually puncture the lung, but I just think that it's just a little bit too risky for my liking. And also, I noticed now that I can do it on my hips, I can do it like a hula hoop, where up here, you kind of just have to shift your weight back and forth. So, I don't know, it just depends on your preferences, but I think it's overrated. And thanks for joining. Hope you got a lot out of this. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Dream big and take action. Bye!